Good day, this is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you from Montreal, Quebec on July 1st, 2024. This day happens to be Canada Day, but rather than spend my time today participating in the standard patriotic festivities, I decided to come to the campus of McGill University for the first time to speak with residents of the Palestine Solidarity encampment that has been set up here. And I had the opportunity to speak with a representative of the camp. Her name is Zaina. She's a third-year student here at McGill. Although this didn't come out in my discussion with Zaina, which you're going to watch in a moment, I learned after we finished the interview that Zaina is actually not only of Palestinian origin, but she is a citizen of Israel and was last in the country in 2022. One of the things I talked with Zaina about was a recent controversy emanating from this camp. Why it's a controversy really boggles the mind when you think about the most basic precepts of international law. But the controversy related to a flyer which residents of the camp produced about a summer educational camp or activity here at the McGill encampment. And the flyer featured 4 young people, each of whom was holding and reading a book. All of them had the kafaya wrapped around their faces. You couldn't see their faces. And one of them was apparently holding, it appeared that that person was holding an automatic weapon in the photograph. And this, of course, elicited a howl of indignation from each and every major Zionist organization in Canada, which elicited a harsh condemnation from the administration of McGill University. Why anybody would regard that as some kind of an outrage when people are being subjected to a genocide is something that I took up in the interview with Zaina, and here's what she had to say. Speaking with me today, I understand that you're a representative of the McGill Palestine Solidarity encampment. Is that correct? And you're a student here?
Yeah, I'm a McGill student.
And may I ask what year you're in? What you're studying?
I'm a year 3 undergrad in mathematics.
Okay, and you've been here from the very outset?
Sorry?
Have you been here from the outset of the encampment?
I've been here since day 1.
Right, and so this is my first visit to the encampment, so I'm interested to know, I've read about sort of the interactions you've had with the university administration and also with members of the Zionist community. Can you tell me, first of all, what is the state of your relations at this time, the camp's relations with the university administration, and specifically, how are they responding to your demands?
So our relation, McGill publicly announced that they would cut negotiations, and McGill has been trying to intimidate us by threatening disciplinary actions. However, we will stand here until our demands are met, and we are not planning on moving.
And could you summarize for us what those demands are?
So it's disclose, divest, defend and declare. Divest is to divest from any company that's complicit in the genocide in Gaza, mainly many weapons manufacturers that McGill directly invests in. Disclose is to disclose all their investments. Defend is to defend their students, so no disciplinary actions. And declare is to actually condemn the genocide that is happening in Gaza right now.
And have you seen any progress at all in terms of those demands, or they've completely rejected all aspects of them?
McGill has not been having conversations with us in good faith.
And what about the camp's interactions with pro-Zionist members of the Montreal community? Have you had interactions here? Has there been any tension with counter-protesters?
I mean, there have been counter-protests that have come to the camp, and obviously there have been Zionists coming to camp, around camp. We have no engagement policy with them. We are here for McGill to divest and for our demands to be met.
So before we began this this interview on camera, I mentioned to you that I was in Tulkarm, and you indicated you had family in that area. You're Palestinian?
Yeah.
And do you have family living, extended family only in the West Bank? Do you also have family in Gaza?
No, I have family in the West Bank and in Israel.
Right. And I hope that you haven't lost any members of your family.
No, they've been physically safe.
Right. So one of the issues that arose before I came here, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, somehow somebody obtained a copy of a flyer that allegedly was circulating within the camp, and the flyer was about some kind of summer study activity. And as I recall, the flyer had a photograph of 4 young people holding a book. Each one of them was holding a book. They were wearing the keffiyeh around their face, and one of them appeared to be holding an automatic weapon. And of course, the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs, predictably, and other Zionist organizations went absolutely haywire. They started demanding action from the administration of the university. I think, as I recall, that the administration put out a very harsh statement about this. Could you tell me, first of all, is that, because I've heard people suggest that wasn't actually from the camp, that somebody fabricated the whole thing. Is that actually real? And what is it all about?
So the Summer Youth Camp, or Popular University, is a program that we launched 2 weeks ago, which is basically a revolutionary education program. So people come in to camp and have a class there, a class that's taught by different Palestinian intellectuals and even some McGill and Concordia professors that have volunteered to teach about Palestinian history. So we wanted to do this as a way to open up camp a little bit more to the community, and as a way to teach what isn't normally taught in institutions, things like the Nakba, things like Palestinian history. So that was why we opened it up to these classrooms that happen every weekday. The picture chosen for the flyer is a picture of a colonized people reading about another colonized people. So it was chosen for the symbolism of struggle and education. Yeah.
So everybody who's been critical of the camp, focused not on the books, not on the educational aspect. They focused on the one automatic weapon that one of the persons in the camp appeared to be holding in the photograph, not the camp, but in the photograph appeared to be holding. Nobody in this country in the mainstream discourse goes wild when we see Ukrainian fighters holding weapons that have been supplied to them by the West. It's quite odd that when you have a decision of the International Court of Justice that it's plausible that Israel is committing genocide, no such decision has been rendered with respect to Russia's invasion. And all of a sudden there's this huge hullabaloo because somebody who appears to be Palestinian is holding an automatic weapon. So this raises squarely, of course, the right to armed resistance. What is your view about this, about the Palestinians' right to armed resistance, and how we as a country should talk about that right?
Well, I think we as a country, and we as anyone on this planet, should be respecting international law. And according to international law, it is perfectly legal for an occupied people to resist their occupier by any means necessary, including armed resistance.
Right. Lastly, how long do you think, how long are you and your comrades prepared to stay out here in order to achieve your objectives?
Until our demands are met.
Presumably there's absolutely no indication at this stage that you're going to resolve these issues anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to stay here until our demands are met. It's already been 65 days. And that's why we've, for example, with the Popular University, educating people is also a form of resistance. So that's kind of what we're doing, and what I think McGill doesn't like at all, because at the end of the day, knowledge is power. So.
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me, and hopefully we can have another discussion in the future after the camp has achieved its objectives.
Thank you.